Ladies and gentlemen, it's hard to imagine to live in a world without internet. The web services connect to our life even further. From the global perspective, what is the opportunity for Taiwan? Let's welcome the executive producer of Demo, Chris Shipley.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Just 15 months ago, I was here, I believe, speaking to another III event. And it was the first time I'd been to Taipei in more than 10 years. And I was surprised, pleasantly, to see how much Taipei and Taiwan had changed in that period of time. It was a very clean, energetic, very entrepreneurial environment. And the Taipei, certainly, of 2007 was very different from the Taipei of 1997. Well, I had the honor then in March of 2007 of speaking to, I think many of you were there, to talk about the Web 2.0 environment and what was happening in the apex of Web 2.0 at that time. And it's really amazing what a difference just 15 months has made in where the technology market is going and where opportunity is moving and shifting to. That's what I'd like to talk to you about a little bit today, with the perspective that Web 2.0, I think, created a very global market, and what comes next, I think, will accelerate that market even more. And where the evolution of the web has come from its very first flat web days to where we are today. When I talked to you about 15 months ago, I think I probably shared with you that I felt that Web 2.0 was not the right word, not the right accounting of where the web has come from. When you think about what Web 1.0 was, it was a very flat, hypertext-linked environment. And what followed that was a much more transactional web, a much more interactive web. And that, I think, was the true Web 2.0. Over the last 24 to 36 months, we've been in this period that we're calling Web 2.0, but I actually think it's the third iteration of the web that's all about being social, all about being open. Now, we are moving, I believe, from this opportunity that's been created by the open web into a new phase. And I want to talk about that a little bit more. Because while we have built on such a great foundation to build on, I think the best is yet ahead of us, an opportunity for great acceleration, business growth, and entrepreneurialism. I think that really moves well beyond where we are today. But I don't think we can talk about tomorrow until we really understand what's happened over these last 36 months or so in this period that we call, this cycle that we call Web 2.0. Web 2.0 was built upon values, more maybe even so than technologies. There was the value that we should build on open platforms, open source, open APIs, a lot of open collaboration. The value that companies could be built with great capital efficiency, that without a lot of investment, companies could become established and grow and become very large and successful. The perhaps most profound value of Web 2.0 is the shift of control from companies to consumers, to their customers. This social aspect of the web that has really, I think, been the thing that has created the most growth and the most opportunity in this last market cycle. Because of that community, Web 2.0 values organic growth, the belief that products and services can come to market very efficiently and grow virally. And of course, Web 2.0 has been, in many cases, built at least on the notion that the value of a website or service, a product or service, could be delivered to the consumer for free. I want to talk about each of those values because with each of those values, I think there's some challenges. Challenges that maybe I'm overstating in misconception, but I think we need to think about not only what went right in this Web 2.0 period, but also some of the things that perhaps went wrong. First, there is this idea that open architectures are very easy to develop. You have fast, rapid development, and it doesn't cost anything because, of course, all of this is done under open source licensing. But I don't believe that development is ever free, nor is it ever easy. It requires a great deal of effort on behalf of development teams. There is cost, clearly, in time and in energy, and often in real dollars. But I think that when we talk about rapid development as being this model for Web 2.0, it's also had an impact on our belief about software itself. The belief that if software is free to develop because of open source and open APIs, then companies really don't need it. They don't need capital. They don't need to be funded in the same way. And it's had a shift, I think, in some cases, and that I've witnessed a profound shift in how companies have moved from a seed phase and then asked to bring a product to market and beyond to take the risk out of software development for their investors. So I think there's been a backlash in this idea that software is free, or software development is free. There's this other concept of capital efficiency, and while I do believe it's possible to build companies today that are very capital efficient, there is, I think, a confusion around this term as well. For some, I think capital efficiency means we just haven't raised money yet. And so the companies are very frugal, they're very careful about what they spend, and it forces them to make very good decisions, and that is a good thing. But by the same token, it, I think, allows people to believe that these companies can continue to grow without spending. Now, I do believe that it does not take a lot of investment capital to get a product ready for market. But I also believe that it does take real capital to get a company to grow. And I think that's where we need to focus, how we grow many of the great companies here and elsewhere around the world that have taken good ideas and pushed them very hard to market, but now really need that nourishing capital in order to be significant in the global market. Perhaps the biggest misconception, in my view, maybe are these last 2 points. First of all, this idea that in Web 2.0 you really don't need to market. I've heard people in Silicon Valley say you should spend zero money marketing because if it's a true Web 2.0 product or service, it will market itself. Just look at Facebook. Just look at MySpace. Well, these examples are real revisionist history. If you know much about Facebook, you know that it took a tremendous amount of effort to get the students first at Harvard and then at Cornell and at other Ivy League universities to begin to use this site. They didn't get it. They didn't understand why Facebook would be important. And so the founders of Facebook and their early team did a tremendous amount of evangelism and outreach to demonstrate the value of Facebook. At MySpace, again, the sense that it just happened overnight, and suddenly there they were, millions of consumer websites. In fact, MySpace spent a tremendous amount of time and energy and effort and real money to work with radio stations, to bring those stations into MySpace and to make those, give them a place on the web. Those are all marketing efforts. There's nothing viral about that. That was about companies going out to their target audiences and working hard with them to help them grow their business. Now, you do get great acceleration in a Web 2.0 environment, but that doesn't come organically. That doesn't happen accidentally. It happens very deliberately, and those kinds of efforts take a considered thought. I truly believe that if you build a great service and you position that service in the market and you talk to your customers, you can be very, very successful. But if you build a great service and you put it on the web and you sit back and you wait for the world to come to you, you will be sitting there a very long time and you will not be very successful, I'm afraid.